Chapter 8, Lesson 2 is the basic operations with square roots. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to simplify. And then after you simplify, you can combine your like terms. Okay, so let's look at a few problems. So the square root of both of these are exactly the same. They're both 5s. So what I know from this is they're already simplified, so now I can combine my like terms. Think of them as like a variable. So I have a positive 3 of them and a negative 3 of them. So my answer is going to be 0. Okay, so then my next one, again, same thing here. They both have the same square roots. But now there's 2 and positive 2, so I have 4 root 3. My next one, I can only combine my like terms. So if I can't simplify them and they're not alike, then you're just going to write them side by side with each other. So these are like terms because they're both the square root of 5. So I have a positive 2 and I have a positive 3. So I have 5 root 5s. Then the root 6 can't break down and it doesn't have any couples, so I just leave it as is and call it done. Okay, same thing here. Root 6, root 6. So I have negative 1 and positive 2. So I really have a positive 1 root 6. Then this has no match, so it's just going to be 2 root 5. I don't need this 1 here, so I can just rewrite it as root 6 minus 2 root 5. Okay, the next one, these are both the square root of 3. So I have a positive 3 and a negative 1. So that's going to give me 2 root 3s. And then a negative root 5 because that can't couple with anything and you can't break it down any further. So now we get to the point where we need to break down to begin with. So I don't have anything that's alike, so I need to try to make them alike. So 18 breaks down into 9 and 2, which breaks down to 3 and 3. So here's a couple of 3s to go outside here. So I'm going to have 9 root 2. It's my first one. Now I need to break down 54. 54 breaks down into 9 and 6, 3 and 3, 3 and 2. So I have a couple of 3s to go outside. The other 2 are single, so they're going to stay inside. And now I'm going to break down the 24 into 4 and 6, 2 and 2, 3 and 2. Okay, so these 2's are going to go outside and join here. So I'm going to get 6. And inside of my square root, these are both single, root 6. Now I can go ahead and look for things that are alike that I can put together. These are both the square root of 6, so they can go together. Okay, so I have a negative root 3 of them and a negative root 6 of them, so that gives me a negative 9 root 6. And this is going to stay exactly the same because I can't put it together. So this is your final answer. Okay, we want to do the same thing on the next 2. So what I want to do is break down the 54. I know that it's going to break down the same both times. So 9 and 6, 3 and 3, 3 and 2. A couple of 3s to go outside here. So I have negative 3 root 6. I know that the 2 is not going to break down at all. So this can come straight down here. So 2 root 2. I know that this 54 is going to break down the same way, but I have a negative 2 out in front. So those 3s that are coming out is going to make this become a negative 6 root 6. You could do that factor tree again if you wanted to, but since you already did it, there's really no need to. So I'm going to put these together, and I'm going to get negative 9 root 6. This does not have anything to couple or pair with. 2 root 2. And that's your final answer. Okay, so then the last one, we want to do the exact same thing here. Let's start by breaking down the 45. It's going to break down into 9 and 5, and then 3 and 3. So there's a couple, so they go outside, and this 5 is single, so he stays in. So it becomes negative 3 root 5. Now I'm going to break down 8. Well, I don't even have to do that, really. Look at these two. I have negative 3 root 8 and positive 3 root 8. When I put those together, they're going to add up to 0. So those are going to go away. So this is really my final answer, and that's all that I had to do.